Hey guys, welcome back. Just going to do a quick video. I'm not one to do videos about player ratings. I'll tell you why. One of my big reasons, I know it's quite popular in the newspapers and quite popular other places as well. Part of my issue with it is just that you can't watch 15 or 23 players on the field in a game. You get an impression about how a guy did, but often there's unseen work that you don't see. You don't see how many rucks he hits. You don't see the small things off the ball, and especially in the backline plays, you don't see their positional play, especially the back three. I've noticed that when I'm at games, you tend to pick it up a lot better, but when you're on the TV, you focus on what the cameras focus on. And especially this weekend in Australia, where we had all these shots from the roof of the stadium, you can't really get a great sort of idea of what exactly every player is doing. So that's one of the reasons why I don't like doing it. Yeah, to me it's one of those things where it's very subjective as well. And normally I like to watch a game again to get an impression. But yeah, I thought I'd do a quick video about how did the newbies do? How did they do in the 10 changes that Rossi made. It was, I suppose we have to put a caveat in that. It was terrible conditions. Rain was going, the Aussies were spoilers at times. And yeah, not the greatest day to play rugby. But yeah, and I think when the experience came on second half, it really changed the game quite a bit. But yeah, just let's have a look at what some of the youngsters did and just how it looks for them going forward. Of course, these are my personal views. I haven't had a chance to speak to anybody in the team yet. They on their way back from Perth at the moment, so we'll have a chat to them later. But knowing them like I do, they won't throw away a player on one bad game or one game where he's not as good as effective as we'd expect him to be. So yeah, I think they look at it a lot more than that. Of course, these are going on the publicly available stats. I don't have a stats program. I wish I did. Be a much more accurate picture. But knowing Rossi and them, they also look at other factors like the warrior factor for players. So let's have a look first. The first one we're going to have a look at is Aphelele Fassi. Now, all round, my impression was that he had an exceptional good test, scored a great try. His positional play was great, made 46 meters, 7 carries, 2 line breaks, 3 kicks, but he was everywhere and didn't do anything wrong in the test. I couldn't see anything that I could criticize him, and he really had a great test. That, and just just for those who haven't seen it, let's have a look at that try again with the also commentary. The next player we'll look at is obviously Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu. Yeah, he had a probably quieter game, but a lot had to do with the fact that he was kicking a lot of the time. I don't think we saw the best of Sasha there, but that had a lot to do with the conditions. He got. He got targeted quite a bit, 7 tackles as well, only missed one. They targeted his channel a lot, and he had a lot of traffic in there and he certainly tried his best. Yes, he made a few mistakes, but that's part of the learning process. I don't think there was anything that you could really crucify him over. And yeah, the youngster still carries on. He's going to pay those school fees. He's going to have to, make those mistakes as he goes along. If he's going to get to the top, and we certainly know his talent, so no real qualms there. Morne van der Berg, another one who was put under a lot of pressure by the Aussie forwards, around the ruck. They got away with quite a bit, I thought, as well. He was mainly just a conduit, passing a lot, but that had a lot to do with the conditions as well. He made his tackles, didn't miss any. His box kicks were great. There was one that went straight up in the air, and I remember that wasn't the best. But all round, you can't really fault him too much, and given the conditions and given the harassment, I think he had a solid his first start and didn't do anything really wrong. Elrigh Louw, I thought the performance was a bit better than the stats suggest. I thought he was dominant in the collisions. I thought he was everywhere. He made 9 tackles. He was around the field a lot, hit a lot of rucks as well. The season only made 10 meters from his 10 carries, but he was always there and thereabouts in the faces of the Aussies, and I think that made a big difference. Maybe not as dominant as his Brisbane performance, or his performance against The last time he was out there, the performances that he's had for the Bulls, but certainly a very good performance as well. I had no worries for him as well. Yeah, I think he's going to develop into a great player going forward. I laugh at the one because there's a bunch of my colleagues who don't believe he passes. There's one pass, and that's why I put that one in there. It's just great to see him, do so well, and I think he's going to grow as the season carries on. Marco van Staden is not a newbie, but he is certainly not somebody who has a permanent place in the team. And I just thought it was worth noting his game as well. He scored obviously the one try, made 21 meters, 7 carries, really was dominant when he was carrying as well. Didn't concede one penalty, beat one defender, 2 turnovers conceded, but given the role he plays, the fact he didn't concede one penalty was very impressive. 11 tackles was the most by the Springboks as well. One dominant tackle. I thought probably one of his best games in the Springbok jersey, Marco van Staden, and it really suited him, the sort of arm wrestle, sort of free for all that it was at times. Yeah, he's certainly a player who never gives less than 100% and gets stuck in all the time. So great to see from Marco as well. Ruan Nortje didn't have a better picture of him. Sorry, he's got a bit of more of a beard nowadays, so that's a bit a while back. But yeah, 7 meters made, 6 carries, passed a lot. He was a lot of the time the guy sort of almost linking between the forwards and the back line. So he tackles made 10. He certainly made his tackles. While it says he missed 2 tackles, he made the majority of them, most of them, and the two that weren't really consequential that he missed as well. He struggled a bit in the lineouts in the beginning, him and Johan Grobbelaar. Not sure if that was just a weather thing. The Aussies competed extremely well in the lineouts, but won 9 lineouts. And when Malcolm Marx came on, they seemed to do a lot better. The lineouts seemed to work a lot better anyway. That's probably because of the experience and probably because of some of the just the way the momentum changed in that second half. But certainly, I didn't think it was a bad performance at all, and I think Ruan's still got a great future as in the box as well for the next couple of years, especially as a sort of 5 lock as well. Now I know Salmaan Moerat wasn't on for long, but I thought, I mean, just because he was captain and he was a newbie as well. 1 carry, 3 meters made, one tackle made, 1 tackle missed. He of course went off the field, got a knock to the head, got concussion, was taken off in HIA and then never returned to the field. And I thought it was really a pity because some of the rucks he hit and some of the sort of the tackle he made there. Sometimes these figures aren't 100% accurate. So and you get differences between who's doing the stats. But certainly thought he looked like he was up for the game and he looked like he was going to have one of his better games. So I was quite disappointed to see him go off that early. I know there's a couple of people who keep on questioning in the comments below his pedigree, but again, I'd point to what Rossi and them look at. Not only leadership skills, they look at the warrior factor as well, and they certainly believe he has. And every coach has worked with him talks extremely highly of the guy as well. My interactions with him, he's a very impressive young guy. He's also going to grow, and they're looking at him in a long-term leadership role as well. So pity he came off early, but another test for Salman. Then Johan Grobbelaar, one of my favorite players at the Bulls. He really sort of one of those guys who doesn't talk a lot, isn't flashy, just gets down and does the work. And maybe struggled in the beginning with his lineouts, but certainly improved as the game went on. Not many chances. Made his tackles, didn't miss a tackle. Made one very important turnover and conceded one penalty. But all round, I think he'll be happy with his performance. Probably wanted to do better, but I think the conditions probably also had a lot to do with that. The guys were thrown a bit in the deep end, that front row as well. So it's good to see him come through there. And on that note, Jan Hendrik Wessels, also a bit of a mixed bag, youngster. And I think, we got to also put a bit of an asterisk. He hasn't played much loose head prop before getting to the box. The Bulls have been using him as a hooker. He's certainly somebody they want to see in the future in the Bok team. So he's going to have to pay a bit of school fees. He lost one penalty in the scrum and lost another penalty somewhere else. But all round stood his ground. And he started to feel sort of later in that first half, if the scrum was getting on top, he didn't really get much chance in the loose, made his tackles. I don't think a bad performance at all. Just obviously in the context of the game, with the weather didn't really help his playing style, but he will improve, and he's a youngster we're going to see a lot of there in the future. Guys, that was a quick rundown of what I thought of some of the newbies. I don't normally do these type of videos, but I hope that you enjoyed that. Player ratings, I still think you can only do properly when you can't do it off a TV screen first of all, and you can only do it properly later on when you see the game again. You analyze it a lot better. So I won't be doing too many of those, but let me know what you thought of this format. Maybe I'll do this again sometime. But yeah, thanks for watching again, and yeah, it's a lovely Sunday. The box of one, Drickus one. Everything is good. Cheers.